Gennady Golovkin, you interviewed him on your radio show, ESPN, 710, and he told you, if Mayweather feels that I'm easy work, come fight me. And people didn't believe that quote.
Didn't believe which quote?
What I heard on the radio.
That
he said, if they think I'm easy work, come prove it.
Floyd knows Gennady's not easy work. When he says no, straight up and down, no special effects, he's right. But Floyd would have very little chance to last the distance with Gennady Golovkin. And you know, when you say that, again, Floyd has a fan base. Oh, no, he can do anything. He can walk on water. He's one of the greatest ever, Floyd. But, you know, okay, let's say he beat Gennady Golovkin. Everyone's right and I'm wrong who thinks that. Could he then beat Kovalev? Could he beat Kovalev? Or at a certain point, would people agree that there would be a fighter who, even if he's not pound for pound as good as Floyd, is simply too big for Floyd to beat, right? Okay, and I'm saying that's Gennady Golovkin. And Floyd could correctly say he's not worth the money, and he'd be right at this point. Of course he's not worth the money. And I don't think Floyd should be pressured into fighting a middleweight. Floyd did start at 130 pounds. Oh, and there's another good example. If Floyd Mayweather eventually moved up to middleweight, and let's say even Gennady moved up, so they eventually meet at 168 or 175 pounds, and Floyd fights Gennady and loses a tough decision. And someone said, who do you think's a better fighter in the era, pound for pound, Floyd or Gennady? I'd say Floyd. Did you see what Floyd just did? The guy's much bigger than him. Yeah, Gennady is too big and too strong. And a lot of what Floyd does, everyone sees the defense, but the defense is predicated on the threat of the counter. And Floyd disciplines guys, especially with his straight right hand, even guys as big and strong as Canelo. But Canelo's not really a guy who wants to chase you around the ring. And Gennady is. And Canelo is a junior middleweight guy, and Gennady's a big, strong middleweight. So you know, that's how I think that fight would go. The other thing about Floyd for his fans is, he told us before, in the fighter meetings before the Pacquiao fight, he said, when I say TBE, the best ever, I don't mean in the ring. Someone else could have that. I mean, I'm sure he thinks he does mean in the ring, but someone else could have that. I mean the whole boxing game. And he has a good point there. 20 years in the game, didn't take a lot of punishment, made all this money, never lost. He has a very good point. He could argue that easily. The best ever at the boxing game. But very difficult to have it both ways. Part of the reason you're the best ever at the boxing game is because if Antonio Margarito and Carlos Baldemir are worth the same money, you fight Carlos Baldemir, don't take a punch, win every round, and make the same money. That's just business sense. But there are trade-offs in life. If you make that move and never fight Margarito at his best, although now we know he was loading and everything, or Mosley when he was at his best, although it's true, Mosley also wasn't exactly eager to jump in with Floyd when he was at his best, or Pacquiao when Pacquiao was at his best, although it's also true Pacquiao didn't want to take the real test at that point, but still, these are trade-offs you make. If you make those decisions, then you didn't fight the very best when they were really good. And when you are being compared not only to fighters in your era, but to the best and greatest fighters of all time, and you were better at playing the boxing game and a better businessman than them, but they were making the incorrect business choice sometimes, but taking on greater risk and thereby overcoming greater risk, improving themselves in that way, then when it comes time to compare what you did in the ring, you will compare unfavorably to those, just as they will compare to you unfavorably in terms of the business. Very difficult to have it both ways.